Hello friends, and welcome back to Swiftlessons for another by request song tutorial. In today's session, I'm going to be breaking down how to play Won't You Be My Neighbor. This was the theme song for Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood from 1968 all the way to 2001. So I'm going to be showing you how to do some chord arpeggio strumming patterns, and we're going to break down the chord progressions for the verse, the chorus, and also the outro section. You can follow along using my tab and chord sheet at patreon.com/swiftlessons. Support the channel there and gain access to a ton of extra resources for all my popular YouTube guitar lessons. Now, let's get started. 2, 3, 4, and... It's a beautiful day in this neighborhood, a beautiful day for a neighbor. Would you be mine? Could you be mine? It's a neighborly day in this beauty wood, a neighborly day for beauty. Would you be mine? Could you be mine? I have always wanted to have a neighbor just like you. I have always wanted to live in a neighborhood with you. So let's make the most of this beautiful day. Since we're together, we might as well say, would you be mine? Could you be mine? Won't you be my neighbor? Won't you please? Won't you please? Please won't you be my neighbor? Okay, close look at the fretboard, getting started with our intro section. It's going to be very simple. Should sound like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, and... Okay, so we just had 4 chords there. It was a C major. For the beginners, that's 3rd fret of the A string, 2nd fret of the D string, 1st fret of the B string. Then we had the A7 chord. Leave your middle finger where it is and swing the ring finger to the B string 2nd fret. A7. We also had D minor 7. Okay, barring the 1st fret, the index finger, B string and high E string, and then my middle finger arching to the 2nd fret of the G string, strumming from the D string down. And then to the G dominant 7 chord. Okay, so that is 3rd fret of the low E string, 2nd fret A, and 1st fret of the high E string. G7. This is a 1, dominant 6, 2, 5 progression, really common jazz progression. Okay, very good everybody, you've got those chords down. Now let's talk about strumming. It's going to be very simple. If you got that C major chord, we're going to play. Okay, so that was bass, bass, the A string, the D string, then a down up on the high strings. Now usually when I do that upstroke, I'm already switching to the next chord, so it might be open strings, something like this. Okay, so we're going to do the same exact thing on the A7 chord before going to the D minor 7 chord, where we're going to do the same thing, but move the entire operation to the floor 1 string. Alright, then on the G7 chord, we can play bass, the open D string, followed by down up. You put all that together and we've got... Alright, I like to do that twice through, then when I get to the final chord, that G7, I'll let it ring out before starting my verse section. Okay, let's put all that together now and see if you can play along at a slow tempo. 1, 2, 3, C, and... Repeat. Alright, letting it ring out. Now you're ready to jump into the verse section. Okay, excellent work everybody. You have the intro section down, and that means that you also have the verse section down as well. It's going to be the exact same techniques verbatim. So the C chord gets you started. It's a beautiful day in this neighborhood, a beautiful day for a neighbor. Won't you be mine? Could you be mine? The C, neighborly day in this beauty wood, a neighborly day for beauty. Won't you be mine? The A7, the D minor 7, and the G7 will get you into the chorus section. Okay, very well done everybody. You have the intro and the verse section complete. Now things are going to get a little bit more demanding as we jump into the chorus section. This part's going to sound like this at a real slow tempo, starting with an F major chord. 1, 2, 3. I have always wanted to have a neighbor just like you. I've always wanted to live in the neighborhood with you. Okay, let's break that down. Okay, so we're taking the chord F major, 3rd fret of the D string, 2nd fret of the G string, and barring across the B string and high E string. A lot of beginners have a lot of trouble with this chord, so if you want to kind of simplify it for yourself, just play the open E string instead. So now my index finger is on the 1st fret of the B string, not barring. Alright, that's called F major 7. It's going to sound great in this song. Okay, so if you play it that way, alright, we're going to do that same exact strumming pattern. Bass, bass down, up on the F major chord or F major 7. Do the same thing on an A dominant 7. Alright, then we're going to go to a regular garden variety D minor chord. Okay, so this one's a little different. 2nd fret of the G string, 3rd fret of the B, 1st fret of the high E string. Okay, you put those 3 chords together and we have the F, the A7, the D minor. Okay, in time. Alright, now the next chord to end this line is going to be a C diminished 7 chord. So much flavor there. Okay, this is kind of a tricky little chord, but it's so worth getting down. We have the 3rd fret of the A string, 4th fret of the D string, we've got the 2nd fret of the G string, and the 4th fret of the B string. If you'd like, you can bar across, let's see, the G string, B string, and high E string, and get the high E string and 2nd fret there as well. It's going to sound great. Alright, and for me it's actually easier to play that way too, just kind of plopping the finger down and letting the other fingers do most of the work. Okay, so that's the first line of the chorus. You put those 4 chords together and you've got, I have always wanted to have a neighbor just like you. Okay, and as you can see, I did the same strumming pattern for the C diminished 7 chord. Let's just start from the A string. Okay, now on the line 2, we're going to have the C chord to the D minor 7 again, then back to that C diminished 7, and then to the G7 chord where you'll let it ring. Okay, that second line sounds like this. I've always wanted to live in a neighborhood with you. Okay, you put those 2 lines together instrumentally, and we have the F chord, the A7, D minor, diminished 7, the C, D minor 7, diminished, and then a slow strum on the G7 chord will get you to the 2nd verse. Okay, very good everybody. You have the intro, you have the verse, and the chorus sections complete. Now we're jumping into verse 2, where essentially we're going to have the same exact chords as verse 1, but we're going to get a little bit more freeform with it. We're not going to be holding down a strumming pattern per se. So we'll start off just with a whole note strum on the C major chord. So let's make the most of this. Go to the A7 chord and break it apart in time with the lyrics. Beautiful day. Okay, I just played A, D, G strum. Our strum of the D minor 7, since we're together, G7, we might as well say. All right, now I'm going to break these chords apart as well with the lyrics. Would you be mine? A7. Could you be mine? A strum of the D minor 7 to the G7. We're making these chords shorter. Won't you be my... and resolve back to the 1 chord C. Okay, you put all that together and you have, so let's make the most of this beautiful day. Since we're together, we might as well say, would you be mine? Could you be mine? Won't you be my neighbor? All right, if you can do that, then you're ready to move on to the outro section. Okay, very well done, everybody. You have the intro, the verse, the chorus, and also the second verse. Now, the last thing that you need to learn before you're ready to perform is the outro. This part's going to get kind of jazzy. Now, keep in mind, I'm going to go in a direction that's a little bit more advanced, but there's also open position versions of these chords that you can play that are very simple and beginner friendly. All right, but what I played in my demonstration was something along these lines. So, it would be, won't you please... won't you please, please won't you be my neighbor? Okay, so that was an F major 7 chord. I've got the 8th fret of the A string, the 9th fret G, and the 10th fret B. Okay, I can use hybrid picking here, using my middle finger in kind of a paintbrush motion to flick the B string and the G string. Okay, and the D string is muted here. Okay, next we're going to have E minor. Just take that index finger down a half step. All right, now I've got 7th fret of the A string, 7th fret of the G string, and the 8th fret of the B string. This is E minor 7 actually. Okay, put those 2 chords together and we've got F major 7, E minor 7. Take this shape down a whole step for D minor 7. Then we're going back to the original shape, that major 7, but in the key of C. So 3rd fret of the A string, 4th fret of the G string, and the 5th fret of the B string. You put those 4 chords together and we have, won't you please, won't you please. Next, we're going to go back to the D minor 7. I like to do a little bit of a rake here, okay, just to add a little bit of extra flavor. I'm going to take the pick and then drag it down before grabbing the B string with my middle finger. Please won't you. All right, now the next chord could have been just a G7 chord, but this G7 add 13 sounds so good, I had to use it. So 3rd fret low E string, 3rd fret of the D string, 4th fret G, and 5th fret B. Okay, same technique. My neighbor. Then, the last trick you gotta learn here, if you are resolving to a C chord, one great way to add a little bit more resolution to it is to put the G in the bass. Okay, so I've got 3rd fret low E string, then the rest of my fingers are going to construct that C major chord. Okay, you can even take the index finger off and play major 7, C major 7 / G, which is a lovely chord to end on. Put all that together and we've got F major 7, E minor 7, D minor 7, C major 7, D minor 7, all right, the G7 add 13, and then resolve back to C. Okay, now, there are beginner shapes for this. So instead of playing F major 7 up here, we could play it right here in the open position for the beginners out there. Won't you please, E minor 7, right there in the open position, 2nd fret A, 2nd fret D, 3rd fret of the B string. Okay, so won't you please. All right, you could play D minor 7, won't you please, C major 7, just take that index finger off for that chord. All right, then the D minor 7, please won't you, a G7 would sound great, be my neighbor. Okay, for a more beginner-friendly version of that outro. Okay, congratulations everybody, you're ready to perform. Alright friends, thanks so much for checking out this lesson on Won't You Be My Neighbor. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you think in the comments section down below. As always, big thanks to my supporters at patreon.com/swiftlessons. I hope you're enjoying all those extra resources. And thanks to you guys, I got many more lessons coming up, so keep checking in. Please subscribe, please share. This is Rob at Swift Guitar Lessons in Philadelphia, saying happy picking.